All right. Hello and welcome back, everybody, to this game 2 of this StarLadder NA Qualifiers 5 Turtles versus OpTic Gaming. I am Spruce Moose, and with me, Forge Dota. We'll talk us over a little bit of the first game and then into the draft of the second game, Forge.
I mean, game one was just the Bane. That was the Bane and Zai show, man. 33 just shutting down that life stealer, making sure he was delayed incredibly long. He was trying to show up to fights and he hadn't even finished his armlet yet just because he felt pressured by the rest of his team. And then Zai constantly keeping everyone alive, always there whenever engagements were happening, minus like a couple of slips here and there, and maybe letting 33 die. But just incredible early game pressure. And thanks to a really early BKB from Gyro and a very offensive build from CCNC, just ran down 5 turtles. So we're going to see the Rubik get banned out on the side of OpTic. They felt that that was pretty annoying to deal with. And the Gyro from 5 turtles going to get banned out. So makes a lot of sense there. Pycat going just a little too ham on that copter.
For sure. Sino has some crazy good games on Gyrocopter across recent matches, always dominating the net worth. But this time we see Bane once again opened up. We're expecting to see 33 in the offlane Bane again, or maybe PPD picking up in the 5.
I mean, at this point, it's one of those things where cheese strats, you pick it in the first game, and now for the second, and if it goes there, a third game, the enemy team has to keep it in the back of their head, right? Like, it's very likely that PPD just moves back onto that position 5 Bane, but now the opportunity is there, especially with this Night Stalker.
Mind games. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's those mind games of, is this going to be 33 in that position again, or are we going to throw PPD on it? Like the flexibility is now there because they've proven that the offlane Bane can work for them. So 5 turtles going to be kind of second guessing themselves a little bit, and that gives a lot of flexibility. PPD as a captain and PPD as a drafter, especially, even though Pycat is drafting right now, it's that same idea of, you don't necessarily know where these heroes are going to run. This could be an offlane Night Stalker. It could be a position 4. And same thing, funny enough, with the Bane. Could be offlane, could be in that position 5. You don't know. And so you have to second guess yourself.
Yeah, sure. I do like this Disruptor pickup, though, from 5 to gives them a little bit more, I guess, easy pickoffs there. Always set up for the glimpse as well. A little bit of an easier disengage potentially as well with glimpsing back one of the targets, and great silence as well for the team fights.
Yeah, Glimpse is always a very, very strong ability, especially if you're able to keep ahead, which is where you want Tiny to be. If you're able to set that early game momentum, then Glimpse becomes one of the most powerful abilities in the game. And, last game we saw that kind of clowny run all the way from the Dire side base to the T1
back and forth,
side.
Yeah.
If you have a Disruptor on your team, all of a sudden that turns into 1 kill, maybe 2 kills. You can very quickly turn that into something. So maybe 5 Turtles thinking, well, even if they get ahead, a couple of nice glimpses back, maybe get us some kills that otherwise we wouldn't get.
Sure, never a safe disengage with disruptors about. Might be somewhat lessened effectively by the Night Stalker, though, potentially, if they're reducing that vision. Maybe we'll see them pick up something to complement the disruptor here, go for like another vision-based hero. I would say the Beastmaster something with the Hawk, but that's already banned out by 5 Turtles.
Yeah, I mean, Beastmaster would have been good, but even something like a Bat Rider could be really nice. Tusk with the Sigil can do something similar as well. It's not quite as good, but Shards and Sigil can both give you some pretty good vision. So going to be good for scouting out the Roche pit as well with these heroes, right? Keeping vision over that Roche. You have the kinetic field, you have the Shards and the Sigil to keep vision over that pit.
Yep. Great area deny as well, of course, with those 2 spells that you're talking about. Make team fights a lot easier to channel them to the areas you want them. Again, 2 single target heroes focused on OpTic so far versus, I mean, AoE pretty much on everybody for 5 Turtles. Oh, DK. There we go.
Yeah, DK, pretty good pickup right now. Just very solid laner. And again, kind of a flex pick, right? Can be usually run mostly as a mid, but has the position to flex into that off lane, flex even potentially into that safe lane, though less likely there. And just a very strong laner, right? Very hard to harass. You have the Dragon's Blood, you have the Breathe Fire for the damage reduction. And with the damage reduction and the Enfeeble, it's going to be really hard to get those last hits out.
For sure. Big fan of the DK. Whole purpose of the Tiny, right? So we were saying last game, you get in and you burst somebody, but again, everything from an OpTic, pretty tanky. Not going to be easy to burst. Night Stalker, huge HP. Strength hero as well. Bane, pseudo. Well, I mean, he's got pretty good base stats anyway and great stat gain. And with the Brain Sap makes him even more tanky. DK, of course, well, he's Dragon Knight, right? What say?
Yeah, very
Sane armor.
tanky. I kind of wouldn't be surprised if we see like a Pycat Luna get picked up here as well. Luna, kind of the quote unquote discount gyrocopter, but very strong
Yeah.
in her own right, gives you very good team fight and gives you a lot of push potential, which this Dragonite would supplement, right? You have 2 heroes that can just kind of bully it down. But this Viper pickup was really, really good.
Look at that. Spot on. Luna is there. I do like the Viper pickup though. Obviously, you have the break to deal with the DK in the lane with the new reworked Viper. But Luna coming through there for OpTic Gaming. Well analysed there, Mr. Forge.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that when Gyro gets banned out, most teams will grab the Luna, and she does give you some really good team fight, and she complements the push that the Dragonite gives you very, very nicely, right? You have the Lunar Blessing, you have the Glaives bouncing around. So once this 5-man comes together for OpTic, which is what we saw them grouping up and doing last game very well, it's going to be really, really tough to slow them down, right? Tiny, we talked about it last game, wants to jump in and blow somebody up, but if 5 heroes are around that one hero that you want to blow up, whether that be like the Bane or maybe the Night Stalker, it becomes a lot harder to be like, yeah, I can jump into these 5 heroes and blow them up, right? That's something I can do.
One extra thing, I'm not sure how much it's going to impact it, but there is the nice synergy, of course, with the Night Stalker and the Luna. For the Lunar Blessing nighttime, Luna is always a fan of that, thanks to the extra night vision it gets.
Yeah, definitely. It's something like similar. We used to see the Night Stalker run very commonly with the Lycan for a similar reason, right? Very common. I mean, Howl works a little differently, but you do have the vision from the shapeshift as well. At nighttime, you still have the full vision. So Luna, like you said, going to be able to see just fine and keep that aggression up. So 5 turtles right now, depending on where they want to run this Tiny, are going to neither need that safe lane or that off lane, depending what they want for a Tiny. And I think you're better off running that Tiny in the off lane, maybe with some Tusk. I don't think Tiny scales hard enough against the Luna and comes online even fast enough because of how well you farm on Luna. I don't think he comes online quick enough. So I think they need a harder scaling core.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The last pick coming through now for OpTic is going to be the Tide Hunter. Okay. So it is the PPD Bane, potentially.
Yeah, PPD Bane, it would probably be the Zaya Night Stalker 33 on that Watermelon. And it's just more team fight, right? It's just more, you've got the Ravage, you've got the Fiend Script, you've got Nightmare, and on top of all of that, you've got the Eclipse bouncing around doing a lot of work. So really strong 5-man coming up from OpTic.
Definitely a more classical team lineup, a laning lineup from OpTic this time round. Got the standard position 5, standard roaming, strong mid laner, strong safe lane carry, and the classic off lane hero in the Tide Hunter there. And 5 turtles now they'll come up with the Timbersaw. Ooh, I like that.
Okay, so it looks like it's going to be the off lane Timbersaw, which I actually don't necessarily agree with. I think Timber right now as a hero is in kind of a spot where he needs to be getting more farm priority than that. I think he needs like the safe lane or so like a solo safe lane kind of position,
I mean,
or even like
they might
mid.
give him the more farm priority just because Swords Play doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be number 3 on the farm priority list, I guess. Especially when you've got heroes like a Viper and a Tiny. Kind of like we say, you kind of want to give that more room for the Timbersaw, right?
Yeah, I mean Timbersaw just needs so many things to come online, right? Like he basically needs a Bloodstone, but before he can get that against this lineup, he's going to need a survivability item. That'll probably be the Hood, maybe even something like a Yule Scepter for some disengage. So it's just going to be a while before this guy comes online. And in terms of getting bullied, I mean Luna's got a lot of damage in those early levels. PPD and Zai going to be very, very annoying. It could work out because you have those 2 strength cores and you have lots of burst damage, but just excuse me, I'm just a little bit worried about that Timbersaw pick.
And here's the standard quick pause as we get into game 2 here. If you are guys just joining us on the stream, welcome. I'm Bruce Moose casting here. With me is Forge Dota for this game 2 OpTic versus 5 Turtles for the StarLadder NA qualifiers. This is the semi-finals, quarterfinals, I think, actually. I think the winner of this will go forward to play DC, and the winner of that matchup should go forward to play Immortals in the finals of the qualifier. And we are underway now. We have OpTic here on the Dire side. It is going to be PPD this time on the Bane, Zai this time on the Night Stalker, and 33 picking up the Tide as we expected. Well, we've got Onion here picking up Disruptor, Old White on the Tiny, Gunner here on the Viper, Orange on the Tusk, and Sword, of course, on that Timbersaw.
So it looks like they want to do kind of what I mentioned and leave the Timbersaw alone in that bottom lane, kind of give him that safe lane position against the Tidehunter. Should just basically be a farm trade down there, and then maybe throw the Tiny into like a dual off lane, maybe even an aggro tri lane with this Disruptor and possibly the Tusk.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're seeing a similar movement from OpTic as they did last game. Rotate all 5 heroes down into enemy side of the map, get down a deep ward. This time it's not going to block the pool camp.
They do spot them now, though, on Timbersaw, so they know this. They know 5 heroes are there, and the lines are getting drawn down. They want to rotate down through mid, get a nice deep ward in there. Pings are coming out from Disruptor on the...
Wrap around. We might meet in the middle here. The line's drawn.
And it does seem like... Oh, they're going to find this Tidehunter.
33's back swimming up the hill into danger. Do they have the stun? No. Tiny's gone for the tree. The Thunderstruck is going to be enough damage with the tree. Look at that. Old White draws first blood there versus 33. Well played, well played. Stack neutrals. Let's go. But a quick start to game 2 here as 5 Turtles draw the first blood.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't level anything up, maybe just being a bit indecisive, but does cut down on your tankiness a little bit, not having either the Kraken Shell or the Anchor Smash.
For sure.
Kind of a regular hero at that point. And it looks like they were looking to dodge this aggro lane, throw the Tidehunter up top, but instead there will be some musical lanes.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not really sure how OpTic want to settle and where they want to put Pyke out here on this Luna, but they're going to pop him in bottom for now. This is this Tiny.
Yeah. It's probably where he'll stay, but I think they wanted that Timbersaw matchup against the Luna.
Yeah, Tide's not going to have a nice time, is he?
Yeah, once Timber hits... Actually, is Old White going to die?
Again, Dove pops the South just enough to keep him alive. Zai being very brazen early on in the daytime still. 1 minute into this game, but Old White will survive. They don't get a return kill on the board just quite yet. But he has almost no regen. He's got 1 Tango left, 1 currently on. In fact, Onion there will plop an Iron Branch for Old White to chow down on to give him the double regen, but a quick turnaround here with the Void. Lucent Beam, can they find it? 1 more shot? No. They will not. Once again, back under the tree. The Tango regen doing enough to keep Old White alive.
Yeah, it's going to be really tough for him to get any kind of farm on here. And meanwhile, mid, the other lanes are going to go well, both mid and top. Mid just going to be a farm trade for a bit, but as these levels start coming in for Gunner, I think CCNC has to be a little bit worried.
And that's why they're parking PPD here in the middle, I guess, with the Bane, right? Just enfeeble up the Viper, trying to even out the natural laning advantage of that Viper.
Yeah, and top actually 33 doing a pretty good job in the CS department. 10-3 for him. As these levels come in for Sword, though, that's when it gets really scary. You get more levels of the Whirling Death, and eventually that Chakram is going to be very, very tough for 33 to deal with.
Down bottom, making a go here onto Zai. The snowball connects there from Orange. With the shards as well, they trap him in. A couple more right clicks, they're going to give the kill to White. Not quite there. The 1 charge from Zai keeps him alive a little bit longer, but they finally do bring him down now. 2-0 the score, 5 Turtles up in the kills so far, 2 minutes into this game.
Yeah, I mean, this is going okay for them. Luna's not farming very well, actually behind CS compared to the Tiny, which is pretty surprising. But I mean, just the massive amount of damage you get from Tree Grab is insane.
Great spell. Helps you farm, helps you harass. Does both at the same time. Seems good. But we do force the Orange and Onion supports here for 5 Turtles back to the base, so there is some space created, at least for the side of OpTic.
If OpTic had a Bloodseeker right now, he'd be going absolutely insane. Everybody on 5 Turtles just hovering around half HP.
What sort of build are we expecting this Dragon Knight to go in this move? You think he'll go for something like the Shadow Blade into Silver Edge as opposed to the Blink Dagger this game? Try and deal with the Timbersaw in that fashion?
I I think either way is fine. Blink Dagger has its own merits because you have lots of targets that you want to initiate on, not necessarily just the Timber Saw.
Pycat in trouble, connected here with the Thunderstrike and the Avalanche. Throws out a Lucent Beam. Ice Shards will miss. Pycat, he's very low, but the Snowball will come through. Pops the one charger to keep himself alive and now gets himself back behind the tower. Can they turn around? PPD is here with Zai, getting the body blocks up, throwing out a couple of Lucent Beams. Is it going to be enough? Onion dropping very low. Another Thunderstrike will come out to Zai, but there is the Lucent Beam. They get a 1-for-1 trade as a Disruptor swaps out there for the Night Stalker. Orange juking through the trees with the salve. What a great play there. PPD now maybe in trouble. Chance there catches him. Old White doesn't have an avalanche for 3 seconds. PPD stuck in the trees between the ice. The tree whacking him now from Old White. Lucent Beam trying to hold him back there from Piper. There's another Snowball carrying them both towards PPD. And with the tree throw, they will get it in style. Old White, but here comes the fight again. Avalanche throwing back there onto 2, holding back Pycat. Orange turns back around, trying to find the kill to Pycat, but might drop himself. Indeed, he does. This fight still never ending. And Old White maybe now will go down as well. Zai here pops the one charger there on Old White with another Lucent Beam. Double kill there for the Night Stalker. And my oh my, a bloodbath in this bottom lane. That was very back and forth. Pycat coming out on top, though.
The fact that turned to nighttime right as that engagement was happening is, I think, the big reason OpTic wins that. Just the extra movement speed to help chase down that Tiny. And wearing down his his infused raindrops very, very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they just have so many different ways.
Onion in trouble. Drops the kinetic field. Zai is already in there, though. We'll get forced back. Thunderstrike with the tree, doing a decent amount of damage. Avalanche will connect as well. Doesn't have the glimpse, so he's going to be able to walk himself away.
Without the glimpse, it's a very, very tough kill. Top lane, though, 33 getting bullied heavily by Sword.
Pops the south. Oh, Orange is here with a haste rune, in fact, as well. Blocking in 33 into the trees. There's another Whirling Death. They get the shards there. Blocking 33 is very tanky. Meanwhile, CC actually finds the kill there onto the Viper in the middle lane with the help. The rest of the team has a full rotation from everybody, actually.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I was like, how does that happen as a Dragon Knight? But if the full team comes in, that makes sense. And Zai actually going to come in top?
Yeah, it looks like they want to swap the lanes up. Zai snowballed up, though. Orange finds the kill with the shards. They're 33, super tanky. Pops the Ravage, goes for the kill here to the Tusk. Will find it with the Anchor Smash. Pycat now rotating over. Doesn't quite have the Eclipse. He's still early into this level 5. Throws the Lucent Beam out there onto Sword. Can they bring him down? I very much doubt it. Kinetic Field, they're trying to trap up either 33 or the Pycat. But 33, he's actually insanely tanky. He's been walking around on full health this entire time. Another Lucent Beam will come out there onto the Timbersaw. Be enough to force them back. CCC, though, in trouble in this middle lane. Snowball coming through there from Orange Gunner. Doing a decent amount of damage, but he is enfeebled up. And the poison is not going to be enough to bring down the DK.
Ooh, it's close, though.
It is very close.
Really, really close. Doesn't have the Shrine available, so he'll be okay. And it looks like they're going to just go for a lane swap now. 33 is going to head bottom, try and contest the Tiny. And Luna's going to try and deal with this Timbersaw in the top lane. Still going to be a tough lane, but definitely a much more favorable matchup as opposed to the Tide trying to deal
Sure,
with.
I mean, we expected the Tide to suffer, but he's actually up top of the CS charts, 40 and 4. So it's more for Pycat's benefit, I think.
Yeah, it's... I mean, it was a bit of a farm trade for a while. It's really, once this level 6 comes in for Timbersaw, that you have to worry about dying a lot. So that's when they called the switch. Luna did an okay job of trying to dissuade the Tiny, but now he's too big, so they're going to throw 33 in this bottom lane.
Sword throws out the Whirling Death. Zai banking it up, has the silence there onto the Timber, so they don't quite yet have the... Oh, now just grab the level 6 and Pycat. The Eclipse is ready. Doesn't manage to get the turnaround kill over the Chakram onto Zai. Can Pycat bring down Sword? He's regenning up. He's got 10 reactive armor stacks on him. He's got the free raindrops as well. The Calypso will be dropped, but it hits tanks mostly into the creep wave. Will block up the Timber Chain, though, with the Lucent Beam, with the Brain Sap, and another right-click. Pycat will finally find the kill there onto that Timbersaw, but my oh my, did it take some time.
Yeah, that was really, really close, but they are able to, in the end, get that kill. Pycat pump faking the Eclipse a couple of times there because he was getting fogged. Finally is able to let go, and unfortunately Creep's soaking up enough, but with PBD rotating in, does get the kill. And now maybe another kill on Gunner.
CCNC in the middle, pops the stun there with the Dragon Tail. Uphill miss, though. Doesn't do quite enough damage, and Gunner should be okay, juking through the trees. Bracer comes out with the Brief Fire. He's dropped low. Zai, in fact, rotating around, trying to pincer him in here. Gets the slow there in the side sword with the Infinite. Another long-range stun there from CC, and they dive him underneath that tower. They now should be able to transition this into a mid-1 push. Saying that, though, Orange is here in Viz. They've used the Glyph as well. And they're going to try and turn this around.
I think that tower's dead. Maybe he just looks for a cheeky deny, but...
Might be Onion as well. Going the same way as the tower. Kinetic Field will hold back Zai, though. The tier 1 will drop.
And they maybe go for a kill now, but
Under the sentry just catches him, but it's just on the outside of it. And not able to turn that back around.
Yeah, Viper's TPing top to try and gank up this Luna as well. He does have the Viper Strike as well as the Avatos from the Tiny, so could be a dead Luna. This does leave 33 alone again against Sword.
You can see the toss Viper play here. Then toss the Viper straight onto him. Avalanche there. They got to toss the Luna back is the attempt, but Luna pretty quick.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough attempt, and I think Luna now knows. Yeah, the pings are coming out from Zai, who sees him.
And CCC's rotative, and Zai comes around as well. Viper Strike does come out though onto the Luna, dropping down pretty low. Toss forward there, trying to bring down Luna. It's not going to find it. Pycat actually, oh, I might be able to throws the tree, trying to snipe the Luna, but she will survive. Pycat on 60 HP. Orange coming through here, traps in CCC in the trees with the shards, and now Gunnar can just chip at him with these poison attacks with the break as well. Snowball comes through, and DK will drop CCC on the ground. Meanwhile, PPD, though, did find a turnaround kill, at least on Onion in this middle lane. Support versus support, mano on mano. I see you down mid lane Friday, mate. 5 o'clock.
And Zai may be going down in this top lane as well.
Rotating 33 over as well, though. He has the Ravage, but not enough mana. Oh, yes, he does. Not anymore. Snowball there from the tusk, rotating himself back onto the creep to try and disengage. Nice play from Orange there. Getting the kill and getting out of trouble.
They're doing a really, really good job of pressuring Pycat in this game. Even though he survives in there, he's forced to back up. He now has to pop the Shrine, and this is giving a lot of space to Sword. And he is going to go for that early Hood of Defiance, and then he's going to go right into the Bloodstone. And that's when Timbersaw kind of has his power spike, right?
Either he tower here, smoking around him. Sorry to interrupt, but CC to see here with the stun and the ult onto Sword. Silence comes through there from Zai just in time. They have the Eclipse. Where is it? Pycat, he's rotating in from the side here, drops it down. Creeps will sponge up some of it. Do they have enough to bring him down? Look at the damage coming through from the Word and Death and the Shack, but finally they find him before he can withdraw those 2 blades. CC and Zai will survive. Bring down that tanky Timbersaw.
Yeah, it's costing them a lot to bring him down every time, though. Both times they've brought him down, it's cost them an Eclipse to do so. So this is a good sign for Five Turtles. The fact that it's costing them this much to keep killing him is really, really big. I think the big worry for them is the fact that 33 is absolutely massive on this Tidehunter. Top net worth for him.
He's looking to pick up the Hood next as well.
Yeah, he's just going to look for aura items, keep his team alive.
Oh, another stun here onto the Timbersaw. No reactive armor stacks to keep him alive at this time, but he's charging back forward with the help of Orange here. CCC once again trapped in between the trees with the shards. Gunnar now coming in from the side. PPD trying to hold the back feed grip there onto the Timbersaw with the sleep onto Gunnar's Viper there, trying to buy some space, but it's not enough. CC will still drop. Now Zai, Pycat trying to disengage. Shards will not connect. 33 is here, has the Ravage to try to turn this back, and Ravage connects onto everybody. And there goes the Tusk, burst down with the Lucent Beam, but Timbersaw still standing strong. So is Viper. Onion will drop there to the sidelines of PPD. Zai trying to juke himself around. This fight still going. Gunnar dropping low. No more mana for the Lucent Beams coming out from Pycat. And here comes Old White with the Avalanche, with the toss, and now Tiny. 33 is going to be brought down. Zai might be the next to fall, very low. Another Chakram coming through from Sword Amy, but he's running low on the mana. Another Lucent Beam trying to hold him back. Brain sap there with the Nightmare from PPD. And the fight still somehow going. Another stun from CCC onto this Timbersaw, but Snowball roll forward there, catches out Zai. They should be able to bring him down with the Whirling Death, and indeed they do. And this fight isn't even over yet. Another Timber chain forwards. PPD getting charged on their trees. Another Lucent Beam trying to hold back a White, but PPD will drop with the Avatos combination. CCC now has the full drag fall up again. Turns back around, brings down a White. In fact, it's the Hadouken creep there from Tide doing the work as well. Sword Amy, he is dropping low here. No more mana. Running out of HP as well, but I don't think they've got enough to bring him down. Lucent Beam, Eclipse off cooldown in 10 seconds. Can they keep him alive around for long enough? Snowball there. Saves him up for a little bit of time. Chakram's coming back through, and maybe OpTic. They've chased too far, or have they? What is going on? This fight is still going. CC and C dropping down Viper. Gunnar will be able to find him. Tries the TP out of Pycat. Can they find it? There's no glimpse. Yes, he gets himself out. And finally the fight is over, and I can take a breath. My oh my. Bit all over the shop there.
That is a really, really good fight for Five Turtles. Even though they lose the Tiny, and even though they lose the Viper in there, Timbersaw didn't die that whole time. So he's constantly racking up XP from the kills, getting a bunch of net worth from the AoE gold, and that's going to put him really, really close to his Bloodstone now. And if they're having this much trouble killing him before he has the Bloodstone, how much trouble are they going to have after he gets that? It's a lot of HP. It's a lot of HP regen. And if the next fight doesn't go... If the next fight doesn't go better for OpTic, they might actually have a Timbersaw problem.
Yeah. I mean, they're up slightly in the net worth 1k. But now we see Five Tails just kind of man up, group up, realizing we're pretty strong, we can take these fights, and they start hitting into this tier 1 tower.
Okay, that fight was actually so long that Ravage is almost off cooldown again, which is why 33 is TPing.
And the Ravage was in the middle of the fight, it wasn't even at the start of the fight.
Yeah. Like, that's massive. But they do have Ravage, they do have Eclipse, so right now is actually really scary time.
Reducing the armor, Zai's wrapping around the silence there, the Avalanche will hold back Zai. Here's the Ravage once again onto 5. PPD gets the Fiend's Grip as well, they're off as well. God. Disruptor will go down. Lucent beams flying through, but Snowball saved there from Orange, making some space, doing the work. Can Sword Amy get himself out of this? He is silenced up, trying to run himself away. Do they have the damage? Another stun from CCNC. Mask of Madness here from the Luna, doing work with the right clicks, and finally they bring down this big Timbersaw, and that is a huge fight win for OpTic. They bring down 3 and lose nothing.
Scary. That looks so scary for them for a second. That snowball save was actually so huge. I think he got 4 heroes in that snowball.
Yeah.
Like, that was insane. But
Great
unfortunately,
play.
the damage was just a little bit too much. The Static Storm not able to come out in that fight because Disruptor was the only one not caught in the snowball. So they just focus him.
Yeah,
And
well,
the
that's
rest
mainly
of the control's
thanks to
not there.
Bane, I think, there, PPD, once again.
Yeah, really, really well played by OpTic there. That was a really scary looking fight for them, but exactly what they needed.
Ooh, Zai trying to cancel up the TP on the Trumps. Can he find the kill? Oh, just about gets back to the fountain in time. And Zai, in fact, might pay for his life. Gunner here and Orange, they trap him in the trees and they bring him down. Quick turnaround there from 5 Turtles.
Yeah, and Tiny has a Shadow Blade online now, so this is going to be a good timing for them. Good reveal. He's probably going to look to head down either bottom or mid to see what kind of kills he can get.
See, Pycat does claim that tier 1 tower finally in the bottom lane. He's looking for the Hurricane Pike for himself. But still grab up some of these cheap mid-game items. Catch himself back up. We're saying catch himself back up. He is second in the net worth, to be fair. It's not kind of the level of net worth you normally expect a Loon to have, potentially. But he's doing pretty well, especially off that last fight.
Yeah, that was the big thing, was like that bottom fight that they took that lasted forever was a lot of time that Pycat wasn't farming. So that's why he's like not quite as far ahead as he'd like, because Luna definitely farms insanely quickly compared to like a Tiny or a Viper. Oh, actually.
Ooh. Static Storm Air onto 2 with the Viper Strike. Luna's going to go down. Pycat is dead for 45 seconds. They get the glimpse back there for 33 as he TP's in, and he's not going to be able to offer any help. Can they catch anything more? They're chasing for CCNC, but I think he's quick enough on the disengage. But this tier 2 tower now under threat from 5 Turtles.
Yeah, killing Pycat there is huge, and the glimpse away from 33 also really nice. He's going to go for the pipe next, which will definitely help their team fight out a lot. But this is a lot of pure damage that comes in from Timbersaw, so it's going to be
Tiny's hunting.
effective.
He wants CCNC. He's trying to set up. In fact, actually, Fiend's Grip does catch out Orange on the tusk. They find him 3 versus 1. Oh, right here, look at the setup. Maybe the Ravage is available here from 33. Avatos, can they burst him down there with the Shack? No, he gets the Ravage off. But where's the follow-up? 33 still going to drop. Viper here coming through, trying to fight into CCC, but the stun is there from the Dragon Slayer. Look at that burst damage there with the brief fire. And everybody else pop the drums. They're trying to run away. Can PPD catch something here? Drops the sentry down, but oh, white, he's already out. Not going to catch him there.
Yeah, there was a good sentry from PPD there. Does spot out Tiny with that Shadow Blade. 33 is able to get the Ravage off. I was a little bit questionable. I wasn't sure if that was exactly worth it, but does buy enough time for at least CCNC to show up and get that return kill on the Viper. So it ends up being worth it for them. And it's now going to buy some time for Pycat. The question is, I think 5 Turtles, they just keep up this pace that they're going at, right? Just keep pressuring Pycat. As long as Pycat stays down, they're actually in a really, really good spot, because CCNC is going to fall off, especially with this Viper in the game. And I gotta say, Sword Amy is scaling very, very nicely. He's closing in on his Bloodstone.
Yeah, CCC likewise, though, he's closing in on his Blink Dagger. 4 gold away to chill himself in the side shop until he gets it. There we go. is that over the Shadow Blade that we were discussing earlier, but top tier 1 tower will fall here with the help of the Centaur buddy here. They bring that down.
So about 1,000 gold away now, about 1,300 gold away now from that Bloodstone is Sword Amy, as they are going to look to do a bit of a trade. T2 for T2.
Bycat popping the Mask of Madness. He's going to make pretty short work of this. They actually will use the Fortify. It's actually a pretty double use of the Fortify aggressively to keep their creeps alive on the tower. Likewise, OpTic will do similar now. Smoked up here is Old White, but there is a sentry. We'll spot them out. PPD going through. Static Storm there onto Pycat. Can they burst him down? No, they can't. PPD is there with the Fiend's Grip. Pycat somehow still alive for now, but there's the toss. Old White will find it. Killing spree. Can they chase for more? Darkness would say no.
That was a really, really good nightmare from PPD trying to keep his Luna alive, but unfortunately that status resist
It's actually such a massive win from 5 Turtles. They claim the top tower and defend their own tower and kill Pycat.
Yeah, that's huge, huge, huge. PPD tried really hard to keep them alive, but not able to do it. And I mean, they have the Bloodstone now for Timbersaw, so this is it. This is the moment, right? The next fight determines basically the rest of the game.
Yeah, they need to kill that Timbersaw. They need to kill him if you're OpTic.
Yeah, he is 100% the focus, because if he wins, if they win this fight on 5 Turtles, it becomes very, very difficult to deal with Timbersaw after he starts getting Bloodstone charges. But if you kill him as soon as he gets that investment, it becomes a lot easier.
Zai grabs a room. It's spotted out here by Sword Amy and Orange.
Oh, no.
He's not backing down. He's not scared. He's punching in. Snowball there will connect onto the Centaur. With a quick blink away, Tusk, he's out of trouble.
That was a good bait from Orange.
Even a drum spot by CCC as well.
That was a really, really good bait from Orange there. It really looked like he was going to go in on Zai. So he runs back to the fountain, and the nice disengage instead means that they get to keep their Timbersaw and their Tusk alive. Because the rest of OpTic was showing up to back up. They see the Timbersaw and they're like, okay, we're gonna gank this guy, we're gonna kill him, we're gonna shut him down now that he has the Bloodstone. So they rotate up CC and C. Even Pycat was on the way, and instead it's a waste of the time.
Yeah, you see this like protective blanket of the Timbersaw. I mean, you don't really think of Timbersaw as the hero that needs protecting, but they are moving everybody around with him. Trying to move the Swords into this middle lane now.
Do they find CC and C? Looks like
they do indeed. Stomp there from the Centaur with the break from Gunnar, and the rest of the damage there from the Timbersaw is enough to bring down the CCC. He's down for 50 seconds, no buyback.
Yeah, they are going to get a little bit of pressure on this top tower, but nothing too big. Pycat's just going to keep farming in this bottom lane. He's got his full Hurricane Pike online now. Nice. Probably move into the BKB next to help deal with the Timbersaw. That's the real big item killer.
I'm actually surprised at how farmed Orange is, and he's blinking aggressive for it into to get the glimpse back onto 33 as well. Snowball there will connect as well. He does have the Ravage, but can he get off? No, he can't. There's a big static storm from Onion. Avalanche as well should be able to burst him down in that before he gets the Ravage off, and he is down for 50 seconds. He does have the buyback though. And now 5 Turtles looking very good. They're trying to turn this into a tier 3 push.
They want to force the buyback on 33.
Really Tiny badly. Whacking this tower with the tree. There we go. There's the buyback for 33. Lucid Beaver connect. There is the Nightmare holding back the Timbersaw.
Where's the Fiend's Grip?
Silence there. Doesn't have it. Well, he does have it. He's not casting. There he goes. Finally comes in. Snowball save is there, though. That's such a nice play from Orange. They do manage to turn around the Timbersaw. He is down for 7 seconds. Immediately back up. Lucent Beams flying through, but not going to catch the Disruptor as he TP's out. The Ravage does fly through. They find Gunnar. Can they find anything more? BBD, he's hunting for Orange, but he picks up another Haste Rune, and he's going to run himself away. Orange is playing so well this game on this Tusk.
So I'm not 100% sure, but I think that there was a sigil there because PBD got glimpsed in the middle of that Fiend's Grip, which is how it got cancelled. And so I think there was a sigil there scouting that out. And actually, speaking of sigil, this is going to scout out this roach attempt by OpTic.
It's dropping very quickly, though.
They could contest.
They're moving in. Here we go. There's no Ravage. CCC blinks up to the high ground, but kind of misses everybody. Gets a stun there onto Disruptor. Onion glimpses him back, but glimpses him like 2 foot. He goes down. Lucent Beams flying through onto Old White here with the right clicks. The owner's there on him, and Tiny is getting chased down. Nightmare up, and the Timbers are holding him back out of this fight until they are ready to deal with him. CCC gets another stun, blinks forward aggressive. There's a silence as well from Zai. The Lucent Beams, and this Timbersaw will drop double kill there for Zai, and that is not what you want if you are 5 Turtles. OpTic win the fight. They get the Roshan and manage to be able to man down these lanes.
That is one of the big downfalls to Timbersaw, is he is one of the worst heroes to fight around both the Roche pit.
Gunner's going to come out here as well. Zai finds with another stun hook from CCC. Ice Shards will fly. Oh, beautiful Ice Shards there from the Tusk. What a play. Gunner saving himself. Going to be able to turn it around and bring down Zai. Or is he? Yes, he does, but he does finally go down. But once again, Tusk of the Shards.
Oh, no.
Another Nightmare. They've got
Sword.
Ravage. No, 55 seconds. Gush comes there onto Timber, so cancels the Timber Chain with another stun. Beautiful snowball save once again for Orange on this Tusk. And it gets him away. No, the Fiend's Grip is there from PPD. Great play.
That's so rough.
Orange, I mean, he's trying so hard. He's just not being able to do enough to help his team out here. And Disruptor will fall as well. CCC with another aggressive blink stun finds another kill. And 5 Turtles, they are crumbling. What was suddenly even, now 5k up for OpTic, and they turn into this tier 3. And with the DK, with a Luna, this is going to drop incredibly fast.
And this is the danger of Timbersaw, right? Is you get those Bloodstone, you know, you win the first fight or so, but then those 2 fights back to back, he's got 4 Bloodstone charges.
Feels bad, man. Oh,
He's
no.
He's so weak. Like, it's at 4 Bloodstone charges, it's not even, it's like barely even an item anymore. And it's just so rough to try and
Preemptive dust there from PPD. Anticipating the movement here from the Tiny. Pycat in deep there. Another great shot. Stackstorm though onto 2. Can't get the Ravage off from this Tide. Can they bring down the Tide before it gets the Ravage off? No, they can't. He gets it off there. Aegis will come through. Pycat back alive now with his second life, but they get the glimpse there. Back onto this big Luna. Kinetic Field trying to keep him there, but the Pike over the wall, but it doesn't matter. With the toss, the Viper goes down. PPD not quite cancelled. He gets himself back to base in time. But a good hold from 5 Turtles. They do lose the middle racks though.
Yeah, they get a huge gold swing and they get a couple of Bloodstone charges back on the Timbersaw, which is nice, but they lose the middle racks, and this is not a team that's really going to be able to deal with super creeps. And if the Megas start coming in, definitely not going to be able to deal with it. So still scary, and Sword off on his own right now has to be scared. You know, Zai's
charging
nearby.
straight down middle lane though, trying to maybe force out a buyback. They know that the Tide doesn't have one. Still on cooldown, I believe. Unless I can't count.
No, should still be on cooldown.
Yep, 4 minutes.
And Luna doesn't have it for a few hundred gold. She is respawning soon and does have the Eclipse though.
Fortify will come out.
The glyph.
Stack neutrals. The tier 3 goes down and back and forth again. They attack into this melee rack. So here comes CCC, blinks for aggressively with the BKB. Nightmare there as well, but it's immediately cancelled. Silenced up here on the Tusk. 33, he's trying to TP himself in. He has no Ravage. Gets the Gush there though, but the Glimpse there, trying to hold them back. PPD gets another Fiend's Grip there onto the Tiny. Sword aiming there, trying to cause some havoc in the back lines, but once again the Snowball coming through from Tusk. Catches CCC, drop, no buyback for 60 seconds. Zai as well. Here comes Pycat though with the Eclipse. Gunner dropping down from the Gush. Viper will fall. Everybody else disengaged for now. No. Nightmare's up, bouncing back between the 2 heroes. Onion trying to get himself out of this. Pycat standing strong, throwing out this glaze. Gets glimpsed back again though, but he finds a triple kill. Trill trying to chase this Timbersaw here with the Gush. Throws out another shot. A blink forward for 33. Dodged it. They get the Nightmare there from PPD as well. Trying to hold him back. Switches the Nightmare there onto Tusk. Gets another Timber Chain away. Hastings going to be blocked up there by 33. His sword runs himself into the pit, but he goes down. PPD finds the kill. And now Tusk, he's the last one standing. Can he get himself out of this somehow, some way? Throws out the shards and blinks himself away. Actually, does manage to get himself out. Orange again with the play. He's trying to help his team, but can't quite do enough. And in fact, he might try and throw himself out and try and make some space. Make sure they can't run themselves out the racks. Let his team come back alive. Another beautiful shard play here for Orange. Blocking in Pycat. And man, this Tusk play, he's been so good all game.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely been trying as hard as he can, but this is kind of one of the drawbacks of Timbersaw, man. He's not tanky enough to deal with this Luna. Luna, you know, Pycat had a bit of a rough early game. You know, he was struggling very much, but he's back on top of the net worth. He's got his BKB online now. And, you know, we saw in that fight, Timbersaw chucks out his spells, but with the BKB on CCNC and the BKB on Pycat, he's just not doing enough. And they don't have the strong physical damage to get through those BKBs, right? With Tiny, he's got 5 hits of tree grab, and then he's not a good right-click hero anymore. Viper, very magic-based.
And
right? He's gone for
doesn't
this
really
hood.
have much farm either, looking at him. His build especially, he's kind of gone tanky. He hasn't gone damage build. He's got Helm, Hood, looking for a Blade Mail, is it?
Yeah, he's trying to just soak up space until Sword is there, but
Disruptor goes down. Think about the TP here from the Tusk, but he does cancel it up. They catch the Nightmare there onto the Viper as well. TCNC thinking about going for more. They do have the Ravage available here on the Titan. There it is, beautifully onto free. Avalanche just come out from all, and actually no one's taken any damage off of that Ravage. Pycat wasn't here in the fight to offer it up. They get the snowball forward again, but he is here now. Pops his own BKB, 20 seconds to the Eclipse. Trying to bring him down. Gunnar is down here on this Viper. Can they chase some more? Lucent Beam there. Onion will drop, surely. Drops the Static Storm before he goes down. He's down for 60 seconds. No buyback. Sword Amy. There's the freeze grip for PBD, but immediately cancelled there from the Tiny. Great stun. The Timbersaw will fall regardless. Down for 40 seconds. Oh, White. Last one left standing again in this fight. Trapped in the trees, but we're finally brought down. And again, I don't know how he's doing it, but Orange, he's the only one alive.
He just, I mean, he's basically, no offense to him, the only one that doesn't matter, right? You have Static Storm that's Storm that's really scary, and then you have a tiny Viper and a Timbersaw. Tusk is pretty low on the order of priority there, in terms of what OpTic cares about, and so they're probably just going to go for this the T4 here.
He's going to get T4s, yeah.
Just...
I think so. They used the glyph. The Timbersaw's up in 5. They maybe got one last fight in them. Let's see if they can repel OpTic here. There's no Ravage for 80 seconds. They do have the Eclipse, though.
I don't think they can do this. There's
no Dragon Form on CT and C for 30 seconds. There's the buyback from White there on the Tiny. Gush there. 33 trying to hold back Gunnar. And looks like they will disengage. No, blink forward aggressive for CT. They want to end it now. Gets a stun down to Viper, and he is down. Clips flying through. 33 will drop old White there as well. No, actually, CC finds the kill, and there's Lucent Beam catches Sword there on the backs of the pit, and there's so much control. Triple kill from CC, and they just start smashing into the throne. And in fact, Pycat buys a Desolator. Why not? And the throne will fall, and they call it GG. Well played. OpTic are going to take the series 2-0. Vitel's looking very good for a good margin this game, but OpTic coming back with a strong team fight, turning it back around.
Yeah, and I mean, like, as much as I love the hero, as much fun as he is to play, and as much fun as he is to watch, Timbersaw just not very strong right now. And we see why, right? He's very strong in the laning phase, and then he kind of falls off a little bit until he gets his Bloodstone. He's not very scary. And then he hits his huge power spike when he gets his Bloodstone. It's like, oh my god, like, he's doing so much. And then the BKBs come out, and he's a useless hero. And that's the biggest problem with him, right? Once those BKBs come out, there's nothing he can do. He kind of tips back up again if you get to like an ultra late game scenario where the BKBs are on 5 seconds, but OpTic just don't let it reach that point. They end the game quickly.
Yeah, for sure. Who's your MVP then of this game and then the series?
For this game, I'm gonna say Orange. Like he caused a lot of problems for OpTic. He was constantly there. We saw him a lot as the last man alive in this fights. And like, I know I threw the dig in there about not being high on the list of priorities, but that's less a slight about him and more about the fact that the rest of his team is really scary and annoying to deal with. And, you know, even then his positioning was great. He had a couple of really, really amazing snowball saves.
Great ice shards. Yeah.
Some great ice. Even though he's on the losing team, Orange on the
I'd agree with that. He played very, very well on the Tusk. It's sad to see the MVP doesn't go towards the winning team. I think everyone on OpTic played pretty well. 33 had a great game on the Tidehunter. I mean, he stacked stones up a few times, but yeah, for the series for you?
For the series, I'd say 33. His Bane last game, just incredibly powerful. He did a lot of work shutting down the Lifestealer with some really good Fiend scripts and some, like, just the Enfeeble spam all game. And in this game, very, very strong performance on the Tidehunter, despite being up against a Timbersaw in lane, which is not a great Tidehunter lane. It did a very good job, and some really, really nice Ravages as well to help secure those fights.
Sure. How many, like, 4 or 5 man Ravages do we have in that last game?
I lost count.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have enjoyed the cast and the game here. This is the end of the stream for tonight. There will be more games coming up. We will have OpTic going through to face DC in the next round of the StarLadder NA qualifiers. I have been your play-by-play Spruce Moose. With me, Forged Dota, signing off. Thanks for watching.